2024 has been a super cool year for clothing, but without a doubt, in my own opinion, the Instagram Explore page fit has been the most prominent meta for the people. SoCal Asians roam the streets repping their finds, and now you'll bump into an Essentials hoodie or a pair of 550s every block you walk, maybe even 2 or 3 if you're lucky. Now I'm not saying that the meta is straight ass cheek buns, I'm just saying it's overworn, stretched thin, and just done 100 times too many at the most basic level. I actually have a couple of these items. Wait, let me defend myself. In fact, I actually like a lot of these staple pieces, but they get boring when you can't make them stand out even a little bit. First off, I'm going to talk about the shoes. I think the undisputed champion would have to be the Sambas. They're everywhere, but they're not terrible. I considered buying a pair just to have as beaters, but I was going to get a unique colorway because everyone and their English teacher has had a pair of Sambas or something similar sometime in their life. Sambas get a bad rep for being super shitty, but Gats are basically the same thing, and yet they don't get tagged with the basic white girl stamp. Could this be because Gats are hundreds of dollars more than Sambas? Maybe, but I wouldn't boil it down to just that, because even if they were like $100, I would still choose the Gats over the Sambas because they are interesting. Overall, I definitely slap them in the mid category, but they can definitely still be cool. Just get a colorway that not every 5' something Boba Valorant Asian has. For the Sambas, I think a good equivalent would be just like a regular tee because it's simple, very common, and no one really dislikes it. In the same regard, Gats are like a pack-a-punch Samba, so I would pair them with a yerba mate, the fancier version of regular tea. Next up, I'm going to cover Birkenstocks, specifically the Bostons because I own a pair, but this goes for all models in general. I used to see Birkenstocks as just like a loafer kind of thing that my uncle would wear with his dogs out in khaki shorts, but over time I've come to appreciate them. The Bostons are super comfortable, especially because they mold to your foot over time, and I've been using these as casual comfort pieces for a couple months now. These definitely get the white girl stamp, and one of the big factors to that would be the cost. Over the past year, I probably saw like 90 ads for some copycats that cost like $30, which makes them super accessible and still popular. Maybe a little biased, but I put them on the cool side right now. I'd say Birks probably pair up with like a Red Bull because you don't always have them, but they're notable and you either like them or you don't. The next segment is going to talk about those like shirts and hoodies that you see 30 seconds into a reel session. You always see like those Stussy Essentials hoodies and shirts and like those North Face and Arc'teryx jackets. Also like those Instagram brands that release a shirt with a printed logo for like $100. I own multiple Stussy pieces. I'm not about to shit on the brand because the designs are interesting to look at, but the logo is stitched into your brain after a couple days in Vancouver and it gets old. For people who have never heard of the brand before, it probably looks really dope and it could be a conversation starter for sure, or if you just need a shirt to wear to seem like you kind of care about how you look. But in general, Stussy's kind of in the middle of the scale. I think the same thing goes for Essentials, but Fear of God is a bit less creative than Stussy and also a bit of a short guy classic. I think I've maybe seen 1 or 2 people wearing Essentials religiously who were over like 5'8". Not that being short is bad, but you know. But anyway, the key to making it look good is to make it stand out. Like this hoodie looks good, right? And it ties the whole fit together because it's a standout piece. It's intriguing to look at and that's why we like it. I think North Face jackets and Arc'teryx are very different though. They look nice and are great and all if you want to drop like 400 doubloons on a puffer you can wear 4 months out of the year, but these two brands have earned themselves respect moving into more expensive territory, and so it tells people you can spend a bit of money while still looking clean and simple. Also, I kind of like this Supreme one, so the jackets can go on the left. One more thing I see in a lot of these fit pics are jerseys, which can be split into 2 categories, being soccer jerseys and jerseys similar to this Stussy Sport one. I'm all for the jerseys because they are much more attention grabbing than the classic Stussy tee, and I don't have much negative to say, but I think they need to be more of a twice a month kind of thing, more so aimed at the blocky ones. I'll drop them in the left for right now. So for the Stussy and Essentials and just Instagram brands in general as well, I would combo up the classic monster. Everyday pick goes with an everyday pick and nobody's gonna hate on you because of it. With the jackets, I match up Rockstar because it's only a sometimes kind of drink and the 62 grams of sugar will kill you just the same as wearing a puffer in the summer. And lastly, with the jerseys, I would pair up a Rain because you don't really see people drinking them, but when you do, it stands out a bit more. The next segment going in order would most likely be bottoms, but what I noticed is that a lot of these Instagram, TikTok, fucking Pinterest fits aren't really defined by brands visually, nor are some of the tops either, I suppose. It's mostly a lot of just wide baggy jeans, track pants, but the big factor just being baggy. There's not a lot I can really say about the Instagram meta in regards to the pantaloons, partially being because I'm not really a pantaloon expert, but also it's just really a lot of the same. Yeah, I know it's literally the stereotype that this video is about, but really these pants are all the same. I'm sure there's a pocket of Instagram For You pages which are giving out interesting pants to some people, but I am not one of them. Maybe that's just me. This kinda sucks because pants are the most versatile piece of an outfit for me. But like I said earlier, all these fits and the pieces making them up are still good, and I own some myself, so these reels are in comparison much better than the other time-wasting brain traps I get a lot of the time. The stuff I get that is not related to clothing has absolutely 100% no knowledge to be gained. But anyway, because of the reasons I gave before, I won't do a segment on pants, and maybe it's lazy, but I think that to not talk about how great and awesome and interesting the pants are, even when they aren't, just wouldn't be worth it. So for the final segment of this video, I'm going to cover accessories. I think accessories are fully a positive, which could take an outfit one step up when appropriate. Jewelry or a pair of headphones or like a bag can turn that 5 out of 10 outfit to a 6 out of 10 outfit. One accessory I see a whole bunch of are the AirPods Max. This really hyped up Apple's sales for sure because the headphones themselves are actually a kind of mediocre product. They look cool and are comfortable, but the battery's kind of ass and it's a whopping 800 Canadian, but nonetheless, it is definitely a plus in style factor. Something I've seen some people do, mostly inspired by this Instagram creative Off God Tate, is add accessories on top of the headphones already being an accessory. This shit is super cool and it made all these fits stand out like crazy. I totally support this if you have a pair, but I've had this conversation with a friend who actually said he would not add accessories if he had a choice, but I definitely disagree. So with the AirPods Max, I'm gonna choose like some wild ass Starbucks drink that only rich bougie people like, just cause AirPods Max are outrageously priced. And the last piece I'm gonna talk about is jewelry. I think that rings as a whole are only really positive, but with chains or necklaces, it can be a little bit in the gray. What? No way, he doesn't like chains? No, I didn't say that. But I think that those generic Temu looking chains are kind of buns, that's it. Between these two, which one would you choose? I hope it's obvious, but for some clearly it isn't. And even worse, when good old Ryan or Graham decide they want to try and replicate what they saw on Instagram, they decide that the chrome chain looks so weird and this green neck certified steel cord is their best bet. Shut the fuck up. Obviously the chrome one is super expensive, and if it's out of your budget like mine, then you should still try to find something more unique than the Italian mob boss classic. That's all. Anyway, I broke the fits down, I gave my opinion, I put them on two sides of a table. I think if you put any of the pieces together, you can still see that the preset works. It looks good, but to make the meta really good, it has to be unique while staying in the confinement of the template. Also, Timbs are ugly, I would rather fucking Geo baskets.